also had the joy of publishing a book, which was called The Fat Girl's Guide to Life, which I hoped would really encourage women to feel empowered about their bodies and the way they looked and the size they were. I had fought to lose weight all my life, and I finally realized, like, maybe this was just the weight that I was going to be, and could I be fit and fat and healthy at the weight I was at instead of trying to constantly diet and fail and feel miserable about myself. Well, I did it. I got to fit, fat, healthy, happy place. I wrote a book about it, and then right when that book came out, the healthy part sort of dropped out from under me. I had been diagnosed a few years earlier with an autoimmune disease called Wegener's granulomatosis, which is a real mouthful. I'll say it again because it's just so like, what? It's called Wegener's granulomatosis. It's an autoimmune vascular disease. It's sort of like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis. It affects the sinuses, lungs, and kidneys. And on me, it really ripped through my sinuses, my lungs, my joints, the lining of my brain, and it was, really, really tough to endure. But the treatment that they have, and there's not a lot of treatment options. The treatment that we have right now for this is a combination of chemo, which is supposed to just get rid of those bad cells, and steroids, which is supposed to lower inflammation. Well, chemo and steroids are really powerful drugs. They can work wonders, but they can also really take you down. They can really, get you to the point where you're not sure, well, what's worse? Is it the disease that's hurting me now, or is it the treatment of the disease that's hurting me now? And I was very lucky that I found a very good medical team, but at the same time, there was only so far that they could go, and usually they get pretty good results, but for me, they weren't getting good results at all. And a friend of mine, who's actually here tonight, my friend Tracy, hi Trace, said to me, there's other things in the world besides medicine. There's other things besides pills and shots and surgery. And I heard about this detox center in New Mexico, and I think you and I should go there and try it out and see what happens. Now, I was a person who was so not interested, knowledgeable, aware of anything that was like alternative. Like, I still didn't understand if you had Lipton, why did you need other kinds of tea? Like, why is there herbal? There's tea, it's tea. You chop it up and drink it. Like, what's the problem? I had never done yoga class. I had never really taken a deep breath in my life. So when she said detox clinic in New Mexico, I think in my head I heard spa in Mexico. And I was like, that's a great idea. We should go do that. So I went with Tracy on this adventure to an Ayurvedic clinic in New Mexico, which Ayurveda is anyone familiar with Ayurveda? A couple people have heard of it. So this is like the kind of medicine that Deepak Chopra practices. Old Indian idea that's sort of based on the idea that your body has 3 different elements to it, like a fire element, a water element, and an earthy element, and that when those elements get out of balance, your body becomes toxic and you get ill. And what throws that out of balance? The environment, the food that you eat, the people who you love, who can sometimes make you so crazy, and the way that we live can make you sick. So their goal was to try to balance these different humors and get me on my way to health. And so I walk into this place sort of like, where's the lemon water? And they're talking about doshas, and they're speaking in Sanskrit. They want to drip oil on my forehead, and they want to shine colored lights on my body. And I'm like, let me run as quickly as I can. I see a Safeway across the street. I'm sure I could get like some Oreos and a Diet Coke and make a really good vacation out of this. But what I found almost immediately was that this crazy stuff that they were suggesting worked. I felt different very quickly, and I looked different, and I felt kind of emotionally charged up and loose and raw, and I started crying a lot, and I felt my digestive system start moving. I didn't know that you were supposed to, you know, go to the bathroom, say, every day. Some people twice a day. I thought it's a good week when I go to the bathroom. So it was really a wake-up call. And the only problem that I found with it was that it's a very all-inclusive kind of life, and it was very easy to do in the clinic in New Mexico, where they gave us the dal bean to eat, and they had the practitioners doing the oil massages and all these things. When I went back to New York City, it was like, shut up, get out of the way, you know, you got work, you got jobs, you got money, you got, you know. It was really hard to continue it, but I found that there were a couple elements that I could bring to it that I could keep with me, even if I couldn't do everything, but that left kind of a space. So a friend of mine said to me, you know, I've had really good luck with acupuncture. So I was like, acupuncture? So wait a second. So I tried to go to the acupuncturist. I found it helped a great deal with pain. Then another friend of mine said, what about Reiki? And I tried Reiki. And I said, this is crap. I don't know, someone's making up Reiki. But for some people, the best thing they've ever done is Reiki. For me, it didn't work. Okay, what about the next one? And you know, my search started becoming less about the physical and starting to understand that there was also a spiritual element and an emotional element to dealing with not only being sick and being sort of pulled out of my life and looking so different than I had looked. My hair was falling out from chemo. I was, you know, like blew up like the Michelin Man from the steroids. You know, it was gave me some tools to deal with the compromises that I felt about just not feeling well. And this is my search for the guru. Are you my guru? Is it my wonderful Western doctor who was doing what he could do but didn't have a lot of options? Is it Mr. India guy in New Mexico? Is it Mr. Chinese man who wants me to drink a Hershey's syrup shake? And I was like, yes. And, you know, and eat what only grows on the trees between 11 and 12. And, you know, is it that, you know, I'm Jewish and my family is Jewish, and the rabbi had some ideas, and there was a rabbi we spoke to who said, I know an ancient Jewish cure. You get a bunch of pigeons, and you hold the pigeons on you, and the pigeons will absorb the toxicity out of your system, and then when they die, you chuck the pigeons. And I'm like, where do I get the pigeons? You know, I'm sort of picturing myself like with a cage, like in Central Park, like, here, pigeon, pigeon. You know, and I decided, okay, maybe the pigeons aren't my thing, but it was this exploration of going through all these different people, and astrologers, and Buddhist priests, and friends, and family, and trying to find the one person who had all the answers. So the piece that I decided to read for you tonight is about a cranial sacral massage therapist I went to. And what about cranial sacral massage? A couple people have heard of this. So it's another way, it's sort of like in the same way that acupuncture deals with moving energy channels or moving energy through your body through different channels. This is what cranial sacral massage does. And you sort of lay on a table, and the massage therapist kind of works on the back of your skull and the base of your spine, hoping to move this energy around. Again, something that I was like, that sounds bananas. And yet, after a session or two, I was like, I feel so much better. I'd gone to her because my liver had finally started to fail from, I think, all the medication and everything. And meds weren't helping me, but boy, every week my numbers kept getting better on the blood counts because I started seeing this cranial sacral therapist. So I was like, I don't know what she's doing, but let her keep doing it. So this is with Alora, the cranial sacral massage therapist who I saw in New York. Oh, here's some pigeons.